For nearly 80 years, the Metropolitan District Commission, known as the MDC, has been providing area residents with clear, clean drinking water and dependable wastewater treatment and other services. The MDC, with its 30,000 acres of land, trails, and reservoirs, also maintains some of the most popular recreation sites in Connecticut. The following informational and educational program is a presentation of the MDC to provide you with more information about the programs and services that we offer. The MDC is committed to protecting our environment and to enhancing the quality of life in this region.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Newsline, the Metropolitan District Commission's cable access television program. I'm Eric Clemens. Thanks so much for spending some time out with us today. Spring is here, and with that, the MDC's construction season is well underway. We'll tell you all about it with information you'll need to know coming up in the next half hour. We'll also talk about the district's maintenance protection of traffic plan, and you'll want to know about that because it's designed to keep you up to date on traffic changes caused by the multiple construction projects taking place to upgrade the sewer system in the region before you're caught up in one of those traffic delays. And also today, we'll talk about the MDC's outreach program. You know, those friendly faces that come knocking on your door to keep you up to date as to what's going on in your neighborhood. Now, to help me do all that, we have an esteemed panel of guests today. To my immediate right, Mr. Scott Jellison, the Deputy CEO of the MDC. Greg Robertson is the guy in the middle. He's the Special Services Administrator. And Carl Bard on my far right, Deputy Chief of the Program Management Unit. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us here.
All right, Scott, let's start with you first. Voters in the MDC's 8-member towns approved an $800 million authorization to begin the Clean Water Project back in 2006. Now, by the end of last year, the district had committed $400 million or thereabouts to the design and construction projects. Can you give us an overall view of that for folks watching at home and what's going on up to now?
Yes. As you know, the referendum passed $800 million of a $2.1 billion program to address specific issues, one being the combined sewer system in the city of Hartford, the other being the structural sewer overflows in the other member towns like West Hartford, Newington, Weathersfield, and Rocky Hill. And then the big component is increasing the capacity of the plant for a number of reasons, such as reducing the nitrogen that we send into the Connecticut River, and to increase the overall capacity of the plant from 180 million gallons a day sewage treatment to 200 million gallons a day. The biggest component of that is actually to treat it during wet weather events. So a lot of the monies that we're spending of the $800 million, $400 million or so, is to increase the capacity of that plant. We have committed a little over $150 million to date at the plant. We're doing things such as building the tanks, the aeration tanks that will help us remove that nitrogen. We have another phase that we're in the middle of processing the design for the nutrient removal. We have a heat recovery system, which is producing a $27 million program, which is producing 40% of our electricity that we actually utilize at the plant. So we're producing our own electricity as part of that. As everyone will know, and we'll talk about on the traffic, we committed a little over $150 million worth of CSO projects. In Hartford, we have a unique circumstance. The homes in our drainage areas, like the Franklin Avenue, which we're planning to separate, the Farmington Avenue, which we're in the process of doing projects out there. We've been working for the last 2 years out in the Tower Avenue area, and that we're halfway done there. We'll be finished up this spring, where the further project to complete later on. The Upper Albany area, we've got a lot of work going on. We've had a little over $100 million in that general area alone to separate the sewer system. Right now in Hartford, our systems are combined systems. So the stormwater that comes from either the homes or comes from the street gets dumped into the same pipe. Our job in the $800 million is to remove that stormwater from the pipe so that it can go into the Gully Brook where it belongs. That's our challenge, is to work in the Hartford to get that stormwater out of our pipe so we're not overflowing to those what we call CSO points within the district.
All right, good enough. Well, Greg, let's move over to the man in the middle there to support all these projects you're talking about, many of them going on in the Hartford region. You reaching out to the neighborhood residents and businesses is, of course, of vital importance. Talk a little bit about the MDC's outreach program and why it's so important as it relates to these construction projects and how residents and businesses perceive them.
As Scott mentioned, we are really impacting Hartford. We have 4 outreach groups that we have currently as contractors with us. Excuse me. We have the Blue Hills Civic Association, we have the Upper Albany Main Street, and we have the Upper Albany NRZ, and we have the Sama group for the South End. The 2 Upper Albany groups are predominantly right in the middle of our project, and they're just doing a phenomenal job. Without those Upper Albany, not just Upper Albany, but our outreach teams, this task would not go as smooth as it has been going. The relationships that's been built with our outreach contractors, our teams, we don't even call them contractors, they're extension of us, that those teams are doing such a great job with keeping this transparent, because everything that we have to do in the community, we're going right through our outreach teams, and the message is getting relayed as if that outreach team is part of the contractor or the construction itself. I mean, just the relationship that's built, you get the property owners to really trust our outreach teams. And that's an important part that the MDC considered when they nominated these groups, because they took the groups from specific areas, and they're not just a part of that area, they're really part of the community. They know the community, they know the business owners, and they know the residents. So it's important that DMDC utilize that outreach entity of this construction project.
I was going to follow up with that. I understand that the outreach program has worked very well, and I was going to ask you, what do you think is the key factor and why it has worked so well? You talked a little bit about transparency. I'm sure that's one of the key factors.
And the real thing is, a lot of the issues and the concerns that the business owners and we call them stakeholders, and everyone is a stakeholder, whether you're a property owner, anyone who's using water is a stakeholder for the MDC. But they have someone to really go to and communicate. It's not like you're gonna pick up their telephone and dial a number and press 1 to get this and do that. They have a direct number, and now they'll just call them by name. Would you please come out here? And the phone calls happen many hours of the day. It's not a 8 to 4 type thing.
Okay.
So that's important.